dead. You call that combat? Come here, lily liver. God damn! You're dead! Straight down! One week at the knees of you! Here! Ha! Fucking come on now! You'll need it. Come here, Lily. I'll slaughter you! Shit! You'll get what for! One week at the knees of you! Ha! Is that all you've got? Fuck you for that, huh? Bring it on! Shite! Shite! What's the matter?
Is that the best you can do?
I'm gonna enjoy this! Jesus Christ!
Ow! Ah! You asked for it.
What for? What's the matter? Come on!
Got weak at the...
Yeah! I'll slaughter!
I'm going to enjoy.
Now you're done for!
Good day to you.
I'm here looking for a fellow called Elijah from Merhoyed. I know him, but you're most likely to find him in some tap room on the square. He only comes here now and then.
Thanks. I've heard there's a foreign knight.
That Deutscher, he's gone, but he said he'll be back.
Did he give his name?
No, Frank.
Why's that?
There are guests I like, and then there's those that keep me awake at night. This night is a good payer, but he spends the whole day tweaking his whiskers and sizing everyone up for a fight.
Did you see his...
That's just it. He arrived with a white shield, nothing on it, and the Wagners tell me that's how knights ride when they want to stay incognito.
That is very odd. And do you know where...
Yes, he asked me the way, or demanded more like. Bastard scared me.
But you remembered in the end, eh?
Well, business is business.
And where was it he wanted to go?
Well, he asked me about a crossroads in the woods north of Rovna. I got the impression he was looking for someone. I know the road's that way, so I advised him to try looking at the charcoal burners junction.
I see. So just what was he doing?
He spent most of the day sitting, drinking, and gaping at the other patrons.
Did you know any of those people?
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But
I wish I knew that myself.
it's just that the gentleman looked quite formidable.
I wouldn't fret. Good God, what a bloody mess. Someone was wounded here. Looks like another person dragged him off. Maybe there'll be some tracks. It looks like blood.
Look what I've... You're goof. That's my... That's my...
Another clue. I must be going the right way. It looks like blood. Charcoal burners. Someone must have seen or heard something.
God be with you, good sir.
What happened at the...
What?
Enough bullshit. I know you dragged somebody here, so tell me what happened.
I don't know nothing, and I haven't seen nothing. If you want to know something about it, just ask Boyar. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Who is this Boria?
Boyar cracks the whip around here.
Thank you.
I am honoured that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
What do you know about the wa...
I haven't a clue what...
Really?
Yes.
Would a few groschen help you remember?
It depends how much. Oh, all right. I'll tell you what I know. Let's just get this straight.
And what were you doing at the crossroads?
We were just passing, and we saw the wagon.
Just the sacks? What about the trail of blood?
I was just getting to that. We also found one wounded man. What am I saying, wounded? The fellow was hat.
So you have him here somewhere?
The fellow has quite a will to live.
Do you know who ambushed?
Not a clue. We came along.
Did he tell you anything?
He wasn't exactly talkative. His lungs are...
Where is he?
We've locked him away.
I want to talk to him.
I don't know.
I paid you too.
Here.
Thanks.
Who are you?
Never mind that. I've come to help you.
Thank God. I thought I'd breathe my last here. Lucky for me, my guardian angel comes bursting through the door.
I'm no angel, so you'll have to answer a few questions before you get my help.
Ah, well, I knew it wouldn't be that easy.
Who is it you work for? Who did the wagon belong to?
To Menhart. He's some kind of merchant who hired me for protection. No idea. I blacked out after the...
Who ambushed that wagon?
A knight. He's been following us for a while. I don't know.
Do you know what you were carrying?
I never...
Can I see your wound?
Are you a quack?
Sort of. That's a deep wound to the flank and you're still losing blood. You need to staunch it.
Will you help me?
I can try. Tell me more about...
Where's the coin? What? What coin?
I will not repeat the question.
I don't know about any coin. I swear.
Ah! Where are those sacks you took from the wagon?
Sacks! They're behind the shed.
That's him. That's got to be that knight.
Is that all? Did you take anything else?
Fuck! Stop! Stop right there!
Yeah! Nick? Yeah. Yeah. That's him. Yeah. Yeah. Not so brave now, are you, young? Enough, please. I yield.
Well?
Who is that driver? It seems I have finally met my match.
I want to know everything.
You may call me Ulrich.
Assurances? How about this?
Do you expect me to believe that? I know full well how these stories end.
I give you my word.
The word of a thief? Jesus. It is true what a...
Unlike you, I'm not a criminal.
You believe that the forging of money is an honest...
I've got nothing to do with that. I'm not a forger, I'm the one investigating them.
What? What are you saying?
I'm in the service of Sir Radzig Kobyla, Governor of Skalitz and Royal Hetman.
Then we have something in common. I also am here under orders from above.
From who?
Perhaps you might sheath that weapon, so that we may talk eye to eye, if we do indeed have a common cause.
Stand up.
It is true our meeting has not begun well, but if it is the truth that you are sent by Kobyla, then we can assist each other.
What do you mean?
I found out many things, but there are still questions I cannot answer. And the last man who knew anything is now dead.
What man was that?
Maynard, the merchant from Passau. Listen, I will explain everything to you, but first, I need you to do something for me.
Oh, really?
You will introduce me to a certain person, and I will tell you everything I've learned.
Who do you mean?
Master Tobias Pfeiffer. If you truly serve Sir Radzig, then you must know him.
I think I know who you mean. What do you want him for?
I have here a written confession which tells how those forgeries are made, but I do not understand such technical matters. Master Pfeiffer, however...
We'll definitely be able to make sense of it. And you'll give it to me, just like that?
It seems I have little choice. This is the last lead I have. In the meantime, I will return to Sassau and see what I might learn there.
What's your name, anyway?
I told you. I am Ulrich.
Just Ulrich?
It is enough.
Because you look like a knight. They seldom have just one name.
It is true. I have a horse, armor, a sword, and a shield. But there are many ways to acquire such things these days. As I am sure you know.
So you're not a knight?
I'm a trustworthy soldier in the service of a nobleman. That is all you need to know.
All right then, Ulrich. Let's leave it at that. Who are you working?
I understand.
Very well. Tell me what you know about the
Do you know Passau?
No, what is it?
A city in Bavaria. Passau is a city of trade. All the currencies in Christendom change hands there.
I see. And that would include Prague groschen?
Some months ago, counterfeit groschen were discovered to be circulating there. They are made from copper plated with silver. The Passau alderman began to investigate and learned that a family of money changers was involved. They were bringing the forged coins in from Bohemia and sending back real ones. My liege lord is allied to the Passau alderman, so they requested that he deal with the matter.
And so he sent you?
Yes. He needed a man that he could trust absolutely.
And what about that wagon? What happened?
I followed Menhard from Passau. I had reason to suspect a connection with Sassau.
So they were transporting false groschen on that wagon?
Yes. On their way here, they brought real coin. Groschen, forints, francs, and the like. But now, the sacks were full of counterfeits.
What do you mean about the connection with Sassau?
The matter was investigated in Passau, and the executioner extracted information from those who...
What, in the monastery itself?
I cannot say. I know only what the...
Why did you let them get here before attacking?
I wanted to discover where they hand over their coins, which I failed to do. Besides, Maynard had an armed escort, and they kept two busy roads and lodged at inns throughout their journey, until he came to this god-forsaken track. I cannot...
What happened on...
I ambushed them. I took down 2, but that bastard Manhart cut the horses loose and rode it.
What next?
While I was chasing Manhart, those charcoal burners came and stole what they could. Before I could catch him, his horse threw him and he broke.
So we won't get anything out of him.
Unfortunately...
Shouldn't you go with me to see Fayfar?
No.
Very well. I'll get...
Godspeed.
The Lord be praised.
Master Fayfar, I need to speak with you.
Did you really?
Close to Rovna, I came across a wagon that was transporting the false coins. Unfortunately, I...
Damn and blast.
Yes. Turned out he was also after the...
Well, that is indeed unexpected.
He gave me these documents to show you. He seemed to think they prove he was telling the truth. They're the records of the interrogations in Passau, and some other things he said you'd understand better than him.
Let me see. We, the aldermen of the city of Passau, interrogation held this day, put to pen by the questor. The place of origin is a monastery in the land of Bohemia. Which certainly confirms my suspicion that something underhand is going on in Sasso. Coin assay report. Copper core coated with amalgam. Ah, but this is interesting. Here's an outline description of how the forgeries are made. I'll have to study it more closely. We command Herr Ulrich to investigate and let no man stand in his way. This looks like the original safe conduct. It has the seal of the Passau alderman, but they certainly didn't pen this.
How do you know?
I recognize the hand. It's a Clement of Kaplitz, the high scribe of the Rosenbergs.
The Rosenbergs? Who's that?
A rich and powerful family in South Bohemia. Burgrave Henry III is a great rival of our King Wenceslas.
So what does all this...
Well, it certainly explains why your knight is so mysterious. Anyway, we should be careful, and we shall begin our investigation. The documents show they use silver amalgam for coating copper fakes. That's a lead we can follow.
what?
Silver amalgam. It's produced from quicksilver and silver.
Well, that doesn't sound like something just anyone can get hold of.
You're quite right. You will go to Sasso at once. Look around the forges in the city. Someone must be working copper for them. I, meanwhile, will take counsel with Sir Radzik and then follow after you.
Where shall we meet?
At the inn on Sasso Market Square.
Master Fayfar.
Did he? He must think highly of you.
I do the best I can.
That's good, because this...
How can I help with these, evil forebodings of yours?
Sir Radzik may make light of it, but a large quantity of silver has been discovered hereabouts, and no one is guarding the Skullets mines, the most likely source.
You really think someone could be stealing the silver from the mines? I would have thought that would be quite a job, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. Which is why I'd like you to go and check out not only the mine gallery, but also the yard with the smelter and the waterworks. See what kind of state it's all in, and if anything looks suspicious.
Is that the yard next to the Skalitz mill?
That's the one. I don't know what state it's in now. There used to be a stock of charcoal and smelted silver there.
A silver store? Could there really be any left?
I doubt it. I'd be surprised if it was still standing at all.
What about these waterworks? What's there?
A stamping mill and washing troughs. They're on the bend in the river below the castle. You can't miss them. There are big tanks and equipment all around.
You said mine gallery. Just one?
Boy, there's such a maze there that it would take a week to crawl through the place. There's only one gallery I'm interested in, at the foot of the hill by a small fish pond.
Why just that one?
Because I was expecting to find a scene there. All the indications pointed to it. So if anyone is stealing silver, it'll be right there.
Should I be expecting trouble then?
Well, I definitely wouldn't treat the job like a visit to church on Sunday. You could find yourself facing a pack of hungry dogs trailing the army, or a band of brigands.
I see. Well, you and Sir Radzik can rely on me. That's all clear. I'll get going. What can you tell me about the Sassau?
There's too many of us, I'll tell you that for free. This is only a small town. There's Zach, who has a forge in the craftsman's yard and mostly works on the construction of the church. And then, apart from me, there's Master Armourer Otter of Ramstein.
Tell me more about Zach.
Don't have much time for him myself. He knows his craft, no question. But he seems to think his son, Vitus, will be a master armourer in Prague one day.
My father was a blacksmith, and I expect he thought much the same about me. That's how fathers are, isn't it?
Of course, any man should be proud of his boy. But Zach makes pride a sin. That's why he's at loggerheads with Master Otter.
Can you tell me something about Master Otter?
Well now, there's a master to look up to. He's worked for the lords of Kunstadt and for the richest townsfolk of Prague.
If you don't mind my asking, what brings him here?
The same as draws all reasonable people. He's enjoying the peace and quiet. Or rather, he used to enjoy some peace. That dispute with Zach must have put a few more wrinkles on his brow.
What are Zach and Master Otter arguing about?
Zach had his boy Vitus trained as an armourer in Kuttenberg, and he wanted to buy out Otter's place for him. Except that Otter's a proud man. How would it have looked? A master armourer giving way to a young whippersnapper who's barely let go of his mother's skirts? And they've been arguing ever since. Well, Zach mostly. He badmouths Otter every chance he gets. He claims that he's only fit for mending pots and that his son will see him off.
That will be all. Do you ever work with copper here?
No, and even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Zach from the monastery craftsman's yard has bought out all the copper.
What can you tell me about the...
Depends which ones you mean. In the town, there's Mikesh. He's a decent man and an honest craftsman. And in the yard by the monastery, there's Zach.
What about the monastery?
Well, him and me don't exactly see eye to eye. He wanted to buy my business, but...
Tell me something about...
Like I said, he's an honest craftsman, which isn't some...
That will be all. Do you make anything out?
I do a bit of Damascene decor sometime.
I'm looking for someone who could do me some...
Well, that's pretty rough and ready work. I wouldn't waste my time with it. But
Good day to you.
What can you tell me about...
Well, there's Mikesh. He's honest enough. And then there's Master Otter. He used to have talent, but now he's too old.
Do you work any copper here, Master Blacksmith?
Why'd you ask?
I'd want to commission you to...
Then you'd best go elsewhere.
That's not what I heard.
What?
I was told in town that you bought all the other blacksmith's copper.
I'm being made a fool of yet again, it seems. Anything else? I still have work to do.
So back to that copper, Master Blacksmith.
What? I thought I told you I don't work with copper.
Aha.
Good luck to you.
I hope I...
Your father says you don't work any copper.
We don't.
I've heard differently around town. They say your father's bought up all the copper to be had.
Are you calling me a liar? Or my father? You're asking for it, boy.
Just be sure you know what you're letting...
Was that a threat?
You don't get it, do you? I don't particularly want to fight with you. I don't have the time or the need to prove anything. So I'll just take my knife and stick it between your ribs. And then I'll keep twisting until you tell me the truth.
So show me what you're made of. Good luck to you. God.
So what do you have to...
You're right. We do make copper sheets here at night.
So why all the secrecy about it?
Father forbade me to talk about it. I don't know why. I didn't ask.
Who buys those sheep?
I don't know. I've never set eyes on him.
Your father has some serious explain.
Jesus, please.
We'll see about. So back to that copper, Master.
What?
Your son put it quite differently.
What's that?
For a blacksmith, son, he's not all that tough, is he? Did they threaten you?
They didn't have to. Just by the look of them, I could say I needed to shut my mouth and do what they wanted.
And did they ever tell you who they were? Do you know where to find them?
I know a little. But show some understanding. There's nothing but trouble in it for me. I'll lose the work and be left looking over my shoulder for some thugs to come and burn down my house. Or worse.
If you lie down with dogs, you shouldn't complain about the fleas.
There's no need for threats. We can both benefit here. If I tell you everything I know, you can help me with a certain small matter. One that'll cover up for my loss of earnings.
So what are we talking about?
I recently tried to buy Master Armourer Otto Rabstein's business for my son Vitus, but that old fool wouldn't listen to reason. He said he couldn't understand his legacy being taken over by a clod like my Vitus. Despite the insult, I doubled my offer, but Master Otto still wouldn't budge.
And what is it you need from me?
I thought I'd show Otto that Vitus isn't such a dolt as he thinks, but for that I need someone experienced in combat.
No, I don't want to get sucked into your business battles.
I see. Then I suppose I'll have to find someone else.
Do you know what the penalty is for counterfeiting?
I never give it much thought.
Evidently, because the penalty for counterfeiting is burning at the stake. And I can personally guarantee that when you're standing on that pyre, you'll find a loss of earnings is the least of your concerns.
No, of course you're right. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. It's just that I'm afraid of being left destitute.
So, out with it. What's been going on?
One evening I got a visit from this scruffy beggar calling himself Rapota. He had a yellow cape on and kept whistling to himself. There was a knight with him too, but he didn't give his name. They told me what I had to do, how much I'd get for it, and I had to keep my mouth shut.
And where can I find this Rapota? Or the knight?
I don't know exactly. But I've always left the wagon with the goods behind the monastery, on the hill there, next to a small chapel under a big tree.
Anything else?
No. I swear that's all I know.
Well, that'll do me for now.
Young man, about that matter I need help with. I'll gladly pay you.
First, tell me what's going on.
I recently tried to buy Master Armourer Otto Rabstein's business, but that old fool wouldn't listen to
And what is it you need?
I thought I'd...
No.
I see.
I'm honoured that a knight...
My friend, you're a trader. Help me.
Well, I've been there several times myself and come back empty-handed. They fobbed...
And who exactly are you talking about? Who's
The monastery overseer, or his assistant, more like...
So what did the overseer have to say to you?
Nothing. Apparently he doesn't deal in such trifles. Leaves it all...
Surely such valuable material can't just vanish.
I wish I knew. Every time I ask for the red paint, there's a different reason why they haven't got the quicksilver to mix it. Once they said the goods never arrived, and another time that the wagon carrying it was ambushed. Then it went astray somewhere.
And you think they're lying?
Jesus, what do I know? But it seems pretty strange to me. 3 times in a row the same thing goes missing. There's bad luck and then there's something else.
What do you need quicksilver for?
I don't. They do. To mix up the red pigment for me. I'm painting the church in Ujits. Can you imagine how stupid those biblical scenes look without red?
Not really.
Then be glad you can. My eyes hurt just to imagine it.
That's all.
So, what did Master Pfeiffer have to say?
I consulted him, and we definitely have a starting point.
Tell me more.
Master Fafar found out they need copper sheets for the core of the coins, and quicksilver for the the other part?
I see. They have such materials at the monastery.
Exactly. That's why I'm interested in the local forges.
Yes, that is good. Yesterday, I heard people from the craftsman's yard by the monastery complaining. They said they could not sleep at night because the blacksmith works all the time till dawn.
I see. That's certainly...
You said they use quicksilver. There is a painter lodging here who is painting the church in Ujits. I heard him complain also. He said that he went to the monastery for quicksilver and it was all gone.
Well, that's something to follow up as well. Thanks.
I'm so hungry I could eat my face. You need help?
Why are you just sitting around?
Why not? Admire people just do not appreciate a lovely view these days.
Does the name Rapita ring any bells for you?
Rapota, you say? Rapota.
Look, you little jester, I'm investigating a crime against the king on the direct orders of Sir Radzik. Are you really going to keep pretending you don't know anything?
Hang on! What's all this about a crime against the king? I'm just keeping an eye on things. When a wagon comes in, I make sure nobody robs it. I get a commission for that, that's it.
See? That didn't hurt a bit. Where's Rapita?
I don't know. He's been staying in town lately. He hardly ever shows up here. It seems he's keeping an eye on someone there. I don't know who.
Who comes to fetch them?
I don't know. Some people. They don't speak, just look mean. Take the goods and go.
Thanks. Hope the scenery...
Shit.
Why are you...
Why not? People just...
Does the name... Look, you...
Hang on! I'm...
See? Bit of friendly advice. You're wasting your time here. Rapid...
What? That bastard owes me a dozen groschen. Damn it! Now what? Ah, well... No use hanging around here anyway. In any case, thanks for the information. I could have been stuck here for weeks.
Back trouble?
Good day to you.
I'm looking for some quicksilver. Would you have any on hand?
Talk to my assistant. He deals with such trivial matters.
Fine, thank you.
My respects to you.
Do you have any quicksilver in stock?
Who's asking?
Nobody, I'm just asking.
Then I don't have any.
That sounds almost as if you don't want to sell it to me.
It's not that I don't want to, it's that I can't.
Can't you? In the Sasau Monastery? That seems unlikely. It looks more like you're lining your own pockets to me. I wonder what people would have to say about that.
It's not. I'm not. Oh, shit.
Get to the point.
They came for me at noon. Directly to the office. The overseer was somewhere on his rounds. Some night, it was. Without a crest. Armed. He called himself Sir Jezek, and he had a lackey with him called Rapota, a scruffy fellow with a yellow cape. Always whistling he was. They told me they wanted all the quicksilver we order for the monastery. Of course, I told him that wouldn't be possible.
And then what? Did they threaten you?
Not at first. They tried to bribe me, and when I refused, they started threatening.
How did you hand it over to them?
I take it up the hill behind the monastery here. There's a big tree there with a small chapel underneath. Sometimes Rapota is there waiting for me. If not, I leave it there.
What did they threaten you with?
They said they know people in the monastery. That they'd have me thrown out and beaten for stealing.
And you had been stealing? I mean, before then?
You know how it is. I work my fingers to the bone and they pay me a pittance.
So they knew about you?
Yes, they knew my name, everything.
Very well. Thank you.
Greetings.
You look different, Master.
So as to fit in. I don't want it known that I'm in town.
Why?
I don't want to alarm our prey. Gossip spreads quickly, and if those scoundrels learn we're onto them, they'll flee.
That does make sense.
So what have you found out so far?
I found out where they get their quicksilver from. You were right, it was the monastery.
It was the only logical explanation.
It changed hands on the hill behind the monastery.
Have you been there to have a look around?
I have, but I didn't find anything interesting.
And have you found out who's behind it?
Someone called Rapota.
Not much, but it's a start. At least it's not a common name. Listen, Henry, I had another thought on the way here. Those counterfeiters have to have a punch dive to make the fake coins.
Yes, of course.
That's sophisticated work. There's a man I know who works at the monastery yard, Master Engraver Jerome of Silesia.
You don't suppose that he's...
No, not that, God forbid. I know him well. He'd never do anything like that. But he runs an engraving workshop, so he might have heard something.
Very well, I'll ask him.
But ask with tact. I don't want him getting offended. And I prefer you not to mention me at all.
I'll try to think of something.
God be with you.
How goes the work, Master?
Getting there, getting there.
What are you doing here, anyway?
You're in an engraver's shop, my boy.
Yeah, but engraving what? And what's it used for?
Oh, we engrave wood and stone as well as metal. Here in the monastery, it's mostly about decoration.
You've got quite a large workshop, Master. You don't do all the work alone, surely?
I'm usually here with my apprentice, Florian. Of course, by simple observation, you'll note that this is not currently the case, and I'm here alone, which means that either I'm a liar or something out of the ordinary has occurred.
I see. I think. So what's happened to Florian?
He shares the fate of the pharaohs for today. The fifth scourge of Egypt did smite him, the plague, or so his message advised me.
Jesus Christ, the plague?
Do remain calm. I'm quite certain the plague from which Florian is suffering wasn't a judgment from on high, or if it was a judgment on excessive drinking. I'm told such an ailment can be of truly biblical proportions.
What's he like, your apprentice, Florian?
I'm afraid that his exuberant youth has taken its toll. He's been acting strangely of late. I fear he has delusions of persecution.
I don't really know what you mean, at all.
Recently, for example, he told me that someone was following him. And the very next day he bought a padlock from the blacksmith and locked up his chest, as though I would ever sneak into it. In any case, why the interest? Are you looking for him?
Something like that.
May I ask why?
I have a message for him.
A message? Who would be interested in that wastrel? Other than his furious and deeply disappointed master, of course. About your question, you'll find him at home, no doubt feverishly dying. He sleeps in the baker's cellar.
Ah, thank you. Does Florian have any enemies?
A man such as he certainly owes money at every turn, and the parents of local girls are undoubtedly displeased with his attempts to propagate. However, most recently it was that fury from the baths who accosted him in quite a spectacular rage.
A woman from the baths? What did she do?
The harpy nearly tore all Florian's hair out. I don't frequently feel sorry for my ne'er-do-well apprentice, but on that occasion I made an exception.
Do you have any idea why she did it?
She was screaming about some girl, some flighty bath-maid, Esther. I would say that Florian had felt the joys of spring and acted accordingly, although one would have thought they'd be used to that sort of thing at the bathhouse.
Thank you. I hear you're at odds with apprentice Florian.
At odds? I'll give you at odds. It's that sod's fault they took my Esther. Poor girl. I shudder to think what's become of her.
What exactly happened?
This man came in wanting a bath, and Esther with it. She doesn't normally offer that kind of service, but I didn't see the harm, so I sent her in to him. And suddenly I hear screams. So I run out, and I see the bastard pulling her out of the tent and shoving her into a boat.
I'm sorry they took her, but what exactly has it got to do with Florian?
They shouted at me to tell Florian that when he wises up, he'll get the girl back.
I assume that Florian knows this, Esther.
You know village girls. They don't get much of a choice. Every other knave has a turnip for a brain, and if they don't, they're relatives. And then some young dandy turns up who writes her little poems. What's the poor girl to do? And this is how it ends. She should have stuck with the turnip heads.
Where can I find this Florian? I'd like to ask him a few questions.
He works in the engraver's workshop at the monastery craftsman's yard. And if he's not there, he'll be holed up like the rat he is in the cellar he rents from the baker. He's afraid of me, for sure.
What did the bailiff make of it?
Don't even get me started on that. He's another fine... I won't say what. I told him everything, but he says he won't do nothing about it.
How's that then?
He wouldn't tell me to my face, of course. But people here don't think much of us. There's some as reckon my Esther deserves what she got. Poor girl.
It sounds like you were close to Esther.
I loved her like my very own. She came to me as an orphan, like a wolf child she was. I raised her and taught her and gave her a job, and now she's gone. Who knows if she's even alive?
God be with you.
You look quite sprightly for an invalid.
What? Who the hell are you?
My name's Henry, and I'm making inquiries for Sir Radzig Kobyla.
And what do you want from me?
Straight to the point then. All right. I've been investigating counterfeit money, and the trail led me straight to you. Does the name Rapiter mean anything to you?
I don't know. Maybe?
Don't bother. I know you know him. You make the punch dies for the counterfeiters. How do you hand them over? Do you know where their workshop is?
I can't say anything. I'll deny everything and you've got nothing on me. No evidence, just accusations.
It's got something to do with that girl, hasn't it?
How do you know?
That doesn't matter.
No, I suppose not. I didn't want to get involved, I swear. Those bastards kidnapped Esther. If I don't cooperate, they'll kill her.
Who is Esther?
My girl, of course. That scum took her right out of the bathhouse.
I'm sorry about that.
Me too. Listen, I'll tell you everything, I promise. But only if I know that Esther's safe.
What, so I'm to go searching for her in the woods?
I know where they're keeping her, but nobody will help me. And what can puny little me do faced with those strapping great villains?
Very well. I'll bring back your Esther.
Really?
Yes, but then you have to tell me everything.
I will. I swear to God Almighty. Please, just bring her back to me. Nothing else matters.
Where are they keeping her?
In the Skalitz Hills. There are some abandoned cottages around the mines. That's where I saw her last. They took me there when I said they had to let me speak to her.
All right. I'll go there and try and think of something.
You're my saviour.
Don't get your hopes up. Anything could happen.
Watch out! You got it searing hot.
Hurry it up. We haven't got time to waste.
Hand me the dumps.
What do you want here? I don't know you.
I'm here at the command of the royal hetman, Sir Radzig Kobyla.
Radzig Kobyla, the king's hetman. I see.
I'm here to place you under arrest.
I gathered as much. And you came alone. Ha! Very daring of you, I must say. What are you doing in here, youngster? Are you new here? Go outside. They'll tell you there what to do.
I am new around here, but I don't need to be told what to do. I've got a very clear idea about that.
What are you talking about? Have you brought a message from the Hungarian or something?
My name is Henry, and I'm here under orders from Sir Radzig Kobyla.
I see. And I am Sir Jezek, Baron of Ronau. But I can't imagine what you would want with me. You must be in the wrong place.
I don't think so. I'm on the trail of a gang of counterfeiters. You're quite clearly in charge here, so I'd like to have a word or two with you, sir.
Of course, I'll be glad to. What is it?
Not here, sir. I'd like to ask you to accompany me to Ratai.
You mean to arrest me? Dear boy, why, you're all alone.
I'll manage. Sometimes even a king can be deposed without an army.
So, I'm a king now, and you want to dethrone me? By the way, who betrayed me?
Nobody, as it happens.
So how did you find this place?
The same way you did.
What do you mean?
I just thought about what would be the best place to hide a counterfeiting workshop in this area, and arrived at the same conclusion as you.
Great minds think alike. But I hope you don't imagine I'm just going to follow meekly after you like a lamb to the slaughter.
And where would you want to go?
Anywhere. Anywhere else is preferable to Kobila's dungeon.
Really? You can't go to Moravia. The Margrave himself is after you there. And in Bohemia, the kings may change, but the coin remains, my friend.
What do you mean?
Whoever gets to be king, they can't afford to have someone forging money.
Do you think I'm doing this on my own?
No, but when the kingdom's back in order, and it'll be time to shut this little operation down, they'll be only too happy to let you take the blame. Counterfeiting money gets no clemency.
It doesn't matter. Kobila will string me up from the highest tree in any case.
Maybe, but you're very shrewd and very persuasive. And you might know a few things that are worth more than your life. It's up to you. Either you give yourself up and try to make a deal with Sir Radzig, or you'll be on the run for the rest of your life.
Or I'll kill you and have nothing to worry about. You'll get what for?
Fuck it!
Here! Please, please, I'm sure we can come to some sort of agreement.
You can talk all you like, but not here and not to me. Let's go. Let's go. Master Fayfar is very keen to meet you.
Good work, Henry.
Thank you, Master Fayfar. It wasn't easy, I can tell you.
I'll take some men and have a good look around there.
And what should I do?
You should get some rest and go to Rattay. In the meantime, Sir Radzig will have this wretch questioned. Maybe he'll get something useful out of him.
All right. I'll see you in Rattay then.
Hey, well now, look what's come crawling out from under some rock. Hey!
Who's there? The answer to my prayers. Just when I wanted to vent my rage on...
Is that the best you can do?
Is that all you got? Hey! All of you, gather here! Raise the alarm!
I'm going to enjoy this. Shit. This. Curse it!
Oh!
The answer to my prayer.
I'll do anything. Just...
They won't hurt you now.
However did you find me?
Florian told me where they took you.
I'm a fool. I thought he was just a dandy, God knows why. And it turns out he's a villain in league with thieves. And a coward, too. This whole time he knew where I was.
It's not Florian's fault. He was terrified they'd do something to you. They had him over a barrel.
You're right. Poor Florian must have been more scared than me.
I'd say so.
We should probably set off.
I'll go with you. I'd hate...
God almighty, has something happened to you? Did someone steal your fancy clothes?
I found that Esther of yours.
I know! Back already. How can I ever thank you?
By telling me all about the goings-on with Rapita.
They found me in the tavern one evening. Caught me when I went to the ship pile. They started to badger me about working for them.
They?
Yes, Rapita. And a night they called Sir Jezek.
And then what?
They explained what they wanted from me, and I told them to sod off.
I'm guessing that didn't go down too well.
It wasn't all that bad. They just threw me on the dung heap and left. I thought it was just a drunkard's joke. But then they took Esther.
Where will I find Rapita?
He's usually wherever I am.
What does that mean?
He watches me. Everywhere I go. And when I'm at home, he sits on the bench in the square, watching my house.
So he's there now?
Hard to say. Sometimes I see him in the tavern on the green, buying supplies.
All right. At least I know where to start. And you go to work tomorrow, you hear?
Why?
Because we have to lure him out. And besides, your master will surely be glad to see you.
I have my doubts.
Why didn't you tell anyone?
At first I took it for a bad joke. And then, when they snatched Esther...
I suppose I'd better go.
Go. I hope...
Are you Rapita, by any chance?
Pardon me? Do we know each other?
No, but I'm hoping to change that.
Well...
It'll only take a moment.
All right then.
I know that you spy on Florian. I know you were involved in the kidnapping of the bathmaid, and I know why you're doing it all.
It seems there's no point making excuses.
None. Now tell me where their workshop is.
Of course. That will be the best solution.
So?
Let's leave it for another time. No, I give up.
So, are you ready to talk?
I will. Just don't hurt me, please. What do you want from me?
Tell me where the workshop is. Don't worry. Your master won't be punishing you for betraying him. You're both going to have too many other problems.
It's in the Skullet's mines.
That doesn't narrow it down very much.
On the eastern side of Skullet's Hill, there's an abandoned mine gallery. Well, it used to be abandoned. Now there's a small camp in front of it, and the workshop is inside.
Who is your lord?
Sir Jezek of Ronov. That's what he calls himself, although Ronov Castle's long gone.
What happened to it?
Ronov used to belong to Vincent, Count Lichtenberg. After his death, it fell to Margrave Jobst, and he had it pulled down. He knew full well that Vincent's vassals would resist him.
Why? Everyone knows that when a lord dies without issue, the king can confer his estate on whoever he pleases.
But Vincent had descendants. Ronolf only fell to the Margrave because he declared them all illegitimate. All because Vincent had refused to fight for him against Sir Prokop. Sir Ježek led a revolt of the vassals, but Jobst rounded them all up. Only Sir Ježek got away. Since then, he's become the scourge of the domain.
Who are you, anyway?
They call me Rapota. I used to be the executioner's henchman in Brno.
And how did you come to be serving Sir Ježek?
I helped him escape from prison. If I was going to serve anyone, better Sir Ježek than the executioner.
So you saw being a brigand's henchman as a step up in the world?
I thought if things changed and he stopped marauding, he might get Ronolf back and take me into his service.
Well, after this little escapade, you can forget about that. You'll be lucky if you don't end up swinging on the gallows.
It's all the same anyway now. I've betrayed him.
So who's Sir Ježek working for? Don't tell me he just took it into his head one day to start forging coins.
That's not for me to know. Sir Ježek was on speaking terms with various lordships.
Such as?
We were often guests at the monastery, but I slept in the hayloft, so I heard nothing.
And apart from that?
In the camp, you'd occasionally see a Hungarian nobleman, but I don't know what he was doing there, or who he is.
I think I've heard enough.
Can I ask you something?
Yes?
I don't want to hang. It's a horrible death. I prefer you just kill me here and now.
Ah, you're not worth tainting my sword with your blood. Now get lost before I change my mind.
Hey! Who's there? Well, look what's come crawling out from under some rock.
Look, sir.
You're in the wrong place at the wrong time. All right.
Over here! Damn! Everyone, quick!
Hey, all of you, gather here. Raise the alarm.
Bring it.
Yeah! Oh, dear God! Hey! All of you, gather here! Raise the alarm! Over here! Where is everyone? Quick! Raise the alarm! Watch out!
What are you doing here? Tired of lying? You asked for it.
The answer to my prayers, just when I wanted to vent my rage.
There's the man. Good work, Henry.
Thank you, sir.
I tell you to take a well-earned rest.
Whatever you command.
Jezek refuses to talk to us. The stubborn bastard's asking to see you.
Me?
Indeed. Normally I'd send for Captain Burner to beat it out of him, but then I told myself that if he's so keen to speak to you...
I'll try to get something out of him. Where is he?
He's locked up in the tower. Bernard will...
Very well, sir.
Well, finally, I've had quite a wait.
Why do you want to talk to me, of all people?
You brought me here. You should consider it an honor.
Well, it's true to say I have a...
Well, there you are, then. It did cross my mind, though, that it might be nice to get some assurances for my cooperation. After all, I'm the one the Margrave unjustly declared the scourge of the land and expelled from Moravia. They even pulled my beautiful castle down. It was the necessity of making a living that forced me to take some liberties.
Do you really want to question the authority of the Margrave?
I've always been loyal to the crown, but what can I do when the Margrave stole my fief?
That's not why we're here. I don't care about your conflict with the Margrave. It's your crimes against the king I'm worried about. The king you say you've always been so loyal to.
Very well, ask me anything you want. I won't be obstructive.
What I want to know most of all is who's behind it. Who are you making those forgeries for?
Do you think I couldn't have handled it all myself?
I'm not trying to insult you. It's just not a job one man could do alone.
All right, the way it began was I was short of coin, as usual. So I let those crimps in Sasau recruit me.
Recruit you into what?
I didn't inquire too much. In this business, you don't ask too many questions. But when they found out I wasn't just anybody, they put me in charge of the counterfeiting. A foreigner by the name of Eric gave me instructions. But for sure, he isn't the chief. And there's someone highly placed at the monastery who's mixed up in it too. But I don't know who.
How did you come to hear of all this business?
I met some old friends in Colleen a few months ago, and they said they were heading for Sasau, that armed men were being recruited, and they'll hire anyone.
Old friends? Who were they?
Just a couple of brigands. We used to ambush the Margrave's messengers in Moravia together.
Nice friends you keep.
I was in dispute with the Margrave. A man in my position finds himself mixed up with all sorts.
And then what?
Rapota and I had been living off stale crusts for a month, so I wasn't going to turn down the chance of work, honest or otherwise. We rode to Sasau and met with the recruiters. It didn't take long to realize I was a nobleman fallen on hard times, not some common peasant.
Can you get to the point?
Well, they introduced me to this Eric, and he told me what was needed. They set up the workshop, got the men, the supplies, everything.
Crimps? You're telling me this Eric is recruiting armed men in Sasau?
Well, it seems so. I was giving the recruiters some of the coins to do it. The fake ones, of course.
Where can I find the recruiting gang?
That's tricky. It was my friends who led me to them. We met with them in the woods next to Sasau. It's about who you know, as always.
You said you gave them money. Where was that?
They'd ride to the mine gallery to see me. I don't suppose you'd find them there now.
If you say so.
This Eric, you reckon he's not the one in charge?
He puts on airs, but he's just a naive young pup. And he's always going on about his lord, though he never mentioned him by name.
Where can I find this Eric? You must have had some meeting place.
He used to come to the workshop unannounced. And after what's happened, I doubt he'll be showing his face there again.
This highly placed person at the monastery, what can you tell me about him?
I've no idea who he is, only that he's no small fry. After all, he handles the exchange of the forgeries in Passau.
I see. Is there anything else at all you can tell me about him?
No, he was supposed to supply me with materials too, but he backed out. Eric said he probably got cold feet.
That'll do me for the moment.
Will you put in a word for me with Sir Radzig? I'll swear allegiance to him if he'll have me. I'm sick of being a renegade.
I can try, but I can't promise you anything.
So what have you learned?
All sorts of things.
The monastery?
That's what Jezek claimed.
So it's worse than I thought. If this is true...
Why? Can't we just go to...
No. If the church is truly involved, I have no authority.
So what will you do?
I'll have to think about it. It won't be an easy nut to crack. I'll have to consult with Hanush. And what of this Eric? Who is he?
I don't know, but he's recruiting armed men in Sasau and forming an army.
Damn! So it looks like Pribyslavitz wasn't the end of it.
It most certainly wasn't, sir. And what's more, Sir Jezek is convinced this Eric is only a go-between, and there's someone bigger behind him.
You should return to Sasau and take a closer look at those recruiters. If they're going to attack, we must find out sooner than last time.
It might not be as straightforward as that. Sir Jezek didn't know them and has no idea how to find them.
You'll have to manage somehow, my lad. Don't tell me there's an armed force amassing here and nobody knows anything. Go to Sasso and try to find them.
I'm not sure where to start, sir.
Then ask around the alehouses and inns, or at the Rathaus. Someone must have heard something. These things can't be entirely kept in the dark. Whatever you do, be careful, Henry. And best not mention my name. It would attract unwelcome attention. What we want is for the crimps to take you for just another village lad they can lure into their gang.
All right, sir. I'll try to blend in as best I can.
I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I know of no one else who could help as much as you can now.
Sir, there's one more. Sir Jezek went with me without resistance, because I promised him he could come to an agreement with you.
My boy, my boy. You make promises in my name? That could turn out very badly for both of us. But, if it can prevent bloodshed, why the hell not? We may well come to some arrangement after all, but I can't say yet what will become of him. You'd better run along.
As you command.